Porn is destroying your mind. It's robbing you of the confidence, discipline, and focus that you need in order to be successful. That said, if you are not serious about overcoming your porn addiction, click away from this video right now. I don't care what it does to my watch time or my average view duration. Click away from this video because this video is for people who are serious about not just overcoming their porn addictions, but people who are serious about being successful and fulfilling their potential on this earth. That said, the first thing that you need to do to overcome your porn addiction is you need to start improving your life. Self-improvement is the first practice that you need to implement in order to overcome your porn addiction. Why is this? You need to understand that the nature of a porn addiction is just like the nature of any other addiction. When somebody is addicted to cigarettes or alcohol or any other pleasurable activity, they are only addicted to that thing because they don't like an aspect or multiple aspects of their current life, of their current life situation. They are currently in a chapter of their story that they do not like to read or write. And that is why they are trying to find an escape from somewhere beyond the page that gives them a hit of dopamine so that they can temporarily forget the fact that they don't like their lives. And I know this because a few months ago, I was in this exact position. I was in a position where I made myself out to be the victim in every situation. And because of that, I never took accountability for my life. And so even though I was doing self-improvement, I wasn't doing it with intent. I didn't have goals in life. And because I didn't have goals, I didn't see a reason to improve myself. And you might very well be in that same position. As a matter of fact, I know you're in that same position because you're watching this video. But in order to get out of this position, you need to understand that you have free will. You have free will in this universe to overcome any and all obstacles that you encounter on your journey, including but not limited to your pornography, or PMO as I like to call it, addiction. So in order to overcome your porn addiction, the first step is you are going to have to use your free will to improve your life. Now, what does this look like? This is going to look different for everyone, but generally speaking, you're going to want to implement a protocol that ensures that every day you are improving yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Every single day you are doing something to advance yourself in all three aspects. Because whenever you take control of your life in this way, whenever you grab the pen and continue writing, what you realize is that you don't have to settle for the life that you're living. And this is where sexual transmutation will come into play, because you are using all of the energy that you would have otherwise spent on a temporary escape to instead cultivate a permanent escape from the life that you're currently living to the life that you would like to live. Self-improvement is the only thing standing between you and the life that you would like to live. So instead of making yourself out to be the victim in every situation, focus on taking more accountability for your life, all aspects of your life, including the past traumas, which I'll touch on here in a second. And from there, you can begin consciously building the life that you would like to live. And that's what I'm here to help you do. I'm here to help you build that life. But it starts with remembering that you have free will. And if you believe in destiny, then I'm not here to contradict your philosophical beliefs. I'm here to tell you that, for one, your destiny was to realize that you have free will. And two, you use your free will to create your destiny. That said, if you want to create a better future, you must first improve your past. You have to create a better past for yourself by doing shadow work. Now, what is shadow work? Shadow work is contextualizing events that cultivated conclusions in your young mind that you still use to create your reality to this day. So all of the things that happened to you during your formative years, when your brain was developing at the fastest that it ever had and ever would for the rest of your life, i.e. from ages 0 to age 7, when your brain was producing theta waves. I know I'm probably moving a little bit fast here, but basically whenever your brain was developing much faster and drawing large conclusions about life as a whole, you developed conclusions that ultimately were not logically justifiable because you weren't old enough to have enough life experience to provide adequate context. And so you developed large conclusions based on emotions, based on feelings that you felt at that time, and they still reside in your subconscious mind and influence your decision making, i.e., you being addicted to PMO, which ultimately an addiction is just a series of decisions that you make. It's just that you think you're not consciously making the decisions because ultimately it's your subconscious mind making the decisions. But you still have free will in that you get to control what goes on in your subconscious mind. And a great way to do that is through therapy. You see, a lot of men, they have an aversion to therapy because they think therapy makes them weak. They think that it's less masculine to seek help, to seek advice, to seek counsel for the issues that they have in their own minds. They think that they are solely responsible for solving those issues. And they are. You are solely responsible for solving that problem that you have. But part of responsibility is knowing when to defer to somebody else who can help you see things more objectively. And that's what therapy does. Therapy helps you accelerate the process of letting go of the past so that you can then begin building a better future. And I understand that starting therapy can be very overwhelming. There are a lot of steps to it. Maybe you can't afford it, so on and so forth. If that's the case for you, then I have a solution. And that brings me to BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out just a few questions, BetterHelp can match you with a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/JordanGreen. Clicking that link helps support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp so that you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a different therapist for no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/JordanGreen. Now, a big part of why therapy is so effective, the real reason why you need to rewrite your past, is because when you rewrite your past, you're giving yourself permission to rewrite your life story. And your life story is the framework through which you live. Your life story is the framework through which you live. Remember, you are in a chapter of your life right now that you are not satisfied with. If you were satisfied with it, you wouldn't be struggling with the PMO addiction. But now that you understand that, you can then begin, first of all, revising the past, rereading the past chapters so that you can contextualize them based on the information that you have now as an adult. And then, once you do that, you can begin to reframe your current situation, the struggles that you're currently facing, in the context of where you're going to go. This is a very powerful method that has pulled me from the depths of hell multiple times in my life. Because what I realized was that nobody wants to read a story that doesn't involve adversity, that doesn't involve obstacles. The level of the hero is determined by the level of the monsters that he slays. And your story is no exception to that rule. Whenever you've overcome great adversity in your life, for example, your pornography or PMO addiction, you are able to then help other men who are going through the same thing because, for one, you know where they're coming from, you know how they feel, and you can better relate to them on an emotional level, but also your message will resonate with them because you'll have the context of having been in their situation, or perhaps having been in a situation even worse than them before. All good stories have adversity. Tell me the last time you paid your money to go to the movies and watch a movie that did not involve some form of conflict. It's never happened. You have never done that before. You've never spent your money or your time watching a movie that didn't involve some type of conflict. Because That's what makes stories compelling. And if you want to not only tell your story, but sell your story in the future so that you can help other young men like yourself overcome pornography addiction or anything else that you may be struggling with at this moment in time, then you are going to have to embrace the chapter that you're currently in while understanding that one day you will be able to contextualize the chapter that you're in with the information that you will have in the future. View your story in the context of all of the adversity you've overcome and how that has helped shape you as a person, because that is how you will be able to tell your story and sell your story in a way that resonates with other people who are going through the same thing that you're going through right now. Now, if you want to know more about how that works, you can click the link in the description to read the PMO Relapse Recovery Guide. It's a free ebook, a 15-minute read to help you instantly recover from your relapse and leave your lust in the dust for good.